My name is Hurtado, and today I made a pulled pork sandwich on a pretzel roll with a coleslaw and a mustard barbecue sauce on the side. And then I made stuffed jalapeno wrapped poppers. And then I made a cheddar smoked mac and cheese. This is an 8 to 12 pound pork butt or shoulder. Depending on what you want, you can find them in the stores. I prefer getting a bone-in. Bone-in has more flavor. I pre-mixed it already because I made a big batch. I got brown sugar, paprika, yellow mustard, salt, pepper, and a tiny bit of cayenne. Not too much because you don't want to make it too hot, but you want a little bit of kick. And the best thing with such a big piece of meat, it's good to season and let it sit overnight. Season a little heavy because it's such a thick piece of meat. So what I'll do is I'll take the seasoning and I'll go very heavy. Everything, every spot throughout the whole pork butt. And then what I'll do after it's nice and seasoned, I'll hit it with a little olive oil and then cover it back up. And then I'll let it sit in the fridge overnight. That gives it a nice little cure. You don't want it too salty. If you go any more than like overnight to 2 days, even in the 3 days, it starts to get really salty. That salt pulls a lot of the moisture out, and it becomes dry, and it starts to become, like you're starting to cure it. Don't mind the mess. Oh man, look at that. And that's all the bark, and you see kind of how it's red. I got a little bit of paprika in the rub, so it's going to turn it a little red. And then just from cooking overnight, the bark. I like to use whatever kind of cheese. I mean, this is a marble cheddar jack. It's a little bit of a mixture. And I'm just going to garnish it a little bit on the top and let it kind of get a little cheesy and gooier. Now you see kind of how it dried out a little bit. I think that's more of the smoke going into it. Because I've noticed that on my first test run, it felt like it got a little bit of a dried out, but it's more of a smoky flavor. But I'm gonna pull these poppers. Now these are awesome. I have some red ones in here. These are jalapenos. I'm sorry. Those red ones are Fresnos. Now what that is a jalapeno that has. You'll see them in the stores. It's a jalapeno that has gone past the green stage. It's went straight to red, and they're smoking hot. Yeah, they got some kick. They have some kick. Cabbage, a fine dice, and then I'm gonna go towards the purple cabbage and do the same. And then we'll go into the green onions. We'll cut them on a bias. And then once we mix all the veggies together, we'll come up with a coleslaw. Now I made a dressing for this, which has celery seed, salt, pepper, not a lot, apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of sugar. You don't want to go super sugary because I have sugar in my mustard barbecue sauce that I made. So you want to keep it sweet and a little savory at the same time, but you don't want to go crazy. And then this, we will make sandwiches out of. It should strut apart, see? Yeah. It should pull apart. It's been going. But what I like is, I like more of, I want it to shred, but I really like a little bit of bite to it. I don't want a complete shredded, overcooked pork butt. I want to be able to, like, look at the color. Look, there's a smoke ring. You can see the smoke ring go throughout the pork. It came out really nice. It came out really nice. And the bark is nice and hard. So I will plate this. All right. It just shreds right off. That's a good shot. Okay. The pretzel buns for the sliders. And take a...
So now, how long did it take you to do the
pulled pork? I was up at, well, the pulled pork, I started the night before, or no, 2 days ago, because it had to sit overnight in the fridge and kind of cure up a little bit.
Okay.
And then I went from there, I started at like, maybe like 2 this morning. Just a little bit, and this will give it a little crunch and a little vinegary. And then for this spot, I'll take this, go like that. And then that one is that's one of my cutting boards. I love that thing.
Okay. So you like to put things on boards?
Yeah, when I'm plating something pretty, or I just want people to, like, people eat with their eyes, and it's visually pretty.
Okay. Do you do this for entertaining them? You'll put it on boards?
I do. I'm just gonna steal.
So you said people eat with their eyes.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
visually appealing.
Oh yeah. Let's go here. That's an odd spot.